I'm sharing with you today 4 content creation tips when you are feeling uninspired. For those days when the ideas are not flowing, you are not feeling super creative, but you're wanting to create some amazing content still. These are the tips to utilize, and these are the things to do to get you back into the zone, to get you ready and on fire to create some absolutely incredible content that your audience are going to love. So if you're feeling a little bit less inspired with content, here are the things that I always do to get myself inspired again. For context, I post daily content on multiple platforms. On YouTube, I'm posting 7 times a week at the moment, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you do not miss those videos, because honestly, they're fire. So I'm posting 7 times a week on YouTube. And on top of that, I'm posting 5 times a week on Instagram as well, and I'm getting into TikTok too. So I post a lot of content. I create a lot of content, and this is something I've really had to master. So here are my tips on what I actually do to make sure I am super inspired and make sure I'm creating the best content possible always. So the first thing to do when you are feeling uninspired is I want you to scroll your favorite creators. Just have a look through their content, have a browse through their content, and especially those people who you always know when you're scrolling their content, you just feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more inspired, a little bit more excited, a little bit more energetic, whatever it is you're wanting to feel more of. Just pick those creators, actually make a list of who those people are, and just intentionally scroll their content just to spark that passion again for you and that excitement for you in terms of creating content, but also to see if anything in particular really sparks your attention and just gives you an idea of something to bounce off of, to share your own opinion on a certain topic, for example, or, you see someone posting about something, you think, wow, that's an interesting topic. I have something to say on this other area, which is kind of related to that. So that can be great for just getting ideas and anything that really sparks your attention, but also just getting you really into the zone, essentially, of feeling really confident, feeling really energetic, feeling like you want to film things, etc. The second thing that I would do is really get back to the core of your content. Really, I want you to jump back to your messaging, look back to your past content and see, okay, what have I spoken about? What are my things that I talk about? And see if that really gives you any more inspiration when it comes to what you could create next. I do this so often. If I'm feeling like I have no ideas, I'll scroll back through my past content, I'll look through my messaging in particular and see, okay, is anything really standing out to me at the moment? Is there a post that I did 3 months ago talking about, why it's important to be inspired when you're creating content, for example, and I can almost create a sister post to that of not just, why it's important to be inspired when you're creating content, but here's how you can be inspired when you're creating content. Here's some strategies that you can utilize. Here's what I do, for example. So think about from your past content, okay, is there anything that I can kind of bounce off of here? Is there anything coming through here? Anything that can inspire me? And also it's great to just connect back to that core messaging to make sure you're really staying on brand, to make sure that you're being really intentional with what you're talking about, and make sure that all of those ideas are just feeling really alive for you and really matching your brand, essentially. The third thing, and I briefly mentioned this just in that one, is create a sister post to one that you've already done. So I talk about this a lot, and I think this is such a hack just to do when you're creating content in general. But when I say a sister post, we don't mean a twin. We don't mean the same post and just repurpose that somewhere else, but we mean pretty similar, but a little bit different. So for example, if you were to do one post about how I signed 3 clients, and share the story of how you actually signed your last 3 clients in another post. So if there was one talking about, how you can sign 3 clients, okay, let's do one talking about a story in particular of, okay, here's how I actually signed my last client, or here's how I actually signed my last 3 clients. So kind of similar, along the same vein, but it's just talking about a different aspect of it. Same as I said with the, content one of, okay, here is why it's important to be inspired when you're creating content. A sister post to that could be, okay, here's 3 ways I always make sure I am inspired when I'm creating content, or here's what I did yesterday when I wasn't feeling inspired, to actually make myself really inspired, ready to create content again. So create a sister post, which is just a little bit different to that. So you're not needing to reinvent the wheel, you're not needing to create something brand new, but you're just bouncing off of an idea you already have. So another one, if you post about why people struggle to sign clients, create another post talking about one of these things in detail and exactly how to fix that. So creating a sister post can be such a great way to just get that inspiration going again. And the fourth thing that I'm going to tell you to do if you're really trying to create content right now and you're feeling really uninspired, this sounds really counterintuitive, but it always works, is stop trying to force an idea. Stop trying to force content to come through. Stop trying to really, think about that idea too hard and it not really coming through, and just go about your work day. Just go about your work, go about whatever you're doing normally, But I want you, and you're doing this, to be taking notes of every thought, every opinion, every perspective which is coming up as you are just going about your work anyway. So as you're working with the clients, as you're doing the projects, as you're speaking to the potential clients, as you are, in your DMs, as you're doing the marketing, as you're scrolling through other posts of your industry, etc. Literally, you can pick so much up from just your lived experience doing what you do. If you're creating content around what you do as a service provider, just go and be a service provider and get your inspiration from there. But make sure you're intentionally just taking notes of whatever is coming up for you, because there are so many gems throughout your day of you had that call with the client and you said one thing which was really insightful, which really helped them. Make a note of that. One client had a specific problem and you had to discuss with them how to solve that problem. Make a note of how you would solve that problem, because these things can become content so easily. And the best thing is you've already thought of what you would say, essentially, because you've said it to the client, you said it to the potential client, you were discussing that problem with a business friend, etc. So go about your workday and just take notes of everything. So those are the 4 tips which I would really share to make sure you can get inspired again when you're wanting to create content. So go about, do those 4 things, have a go with those, have a play with those, find your own rhythm with those, and go out and create some incredible content from that as well. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like, please. And I will see you tomorrow for our next video, daily videos we are posting at the moment. So I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.